Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge. Okay, continuing with the Winter's Coming series, I want to discuss something I've discussed previously, but it's relevant to this discussion. Now let me address the last video that we did. I was discussing being in a hammock and the heat loss in the underquilt. I already have a video showing putting on the one wind hammock, underquilt, etc. But I will very soon shoot a complete new video showing the putting on of the underquilt, how to insulate, how to add insulation, etc. That's coming. Right now we're still doing the basics. We've talked about the body, how the body generates the heat. We've talked about layers upon us so that we're wearing adequate clothing and adequate layers for our environment. We've talked about being in a hammock or being on something that sucks the heat away from you. And we're going to be addressing here very shortly, probably the next video, I'm going to go into laying on the ground pounder view of this, okay? But for right now, there's this mindset I want you to have in the winter. Now, any kind of camping, no matter what your particular idea is. And that's the concept of when you're camping in the winter, there's the 4 W's you need to be focused on. Now, what are the 4 W's? Let me zoom in right close and we'll discuss that right quick. Okay, the 4 W's. Doesn't have to be in exactly this order, but these are the relevant points that we need to be focused on whenever we're camping in the winter. Now, I have decided I've come however I've got here. By foot, by car, by canoe, by bike, whatever. And I've decided I'm going to spend the night and I'm looking for a campsite. Okay? The 4 W's. My first consideration when I look around is wood. Do I have an adequate supply of firewood here? I don't want to have to cut down a tree and spend a whole bunch of calories chopping and sawing and etc. trying to generate my firewood. I want a source of firewood. Ideally, a couple of down trees that are well seasoned of a good type of wood material that's going to make me good coals and keep me going. Poplar, for example, is a good burning wood, but it doesn't produce coals. It pops, it becomes ash. I want long burning coals if possible. Now, of course, any of these points, you're going to have to do compromises. There is no perfect place in this world, to my knowledge, that I've ever been, where all the elements come together, this Eden of resource and etc. that has the view, that has everything. There's always that pendulum of compromise. It's a little better this way and it's a little less that way. So wood, my number one consideration. If there's no firewood here, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep looking because I want that resource at hand. Second one, water. I want my water source close. You require more water in the winter than you do in the summer. You require more water in the Arctic than you do in the desert because water is one of the primary ways that we stay warm. We circulate, so our blood needs to be not thick, you know what I mean? I need plenty. I can't be dehydrated. If I'm dehydrated, that is not a good way to be. I lose my ability to circulate that heat in my body. So being hydrated. Plus, the winter's when I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking of heavy things that are going to be boiled. I'm going to have hot chocolate, coffee. I want a constant intake of water. Plus, the way, like I've talked to many of my videos, my canteen can handle boiling water. It's a Negoline. So I intend, if it's a real cold night, last thing I'm going to do is heat up water to boiling, put it in my canteen, seal it up nice and tight, take the shirt I wore during the day, put that inside that canteen, put my canteen inside of it, excuse me, wrap it up like a hot water bottle, and put that next to my kidneys, put it between my legs, put it up to my chest, put it down there at my feet to help heat me and give me a little bit more warmth at night. So water is a big consideration. The third one, wind. Air currents in the winter being heavier, dense. You feel the cold more. You feel that airflow. It feels heavy. Well, it also does a real good job at sucking heat away. So I want to be out of the wind. I need a windbreak of some kind. I need something that's going to block the predominant wind that's coming. It can be just a hedge. It can be debris that I pile up if I've got plenty of resources, and make it so it just breaks it off of me. Ideally, it'll be a big rock, a hill, dense cover, something that's going to stop that wind from blowing directly across me. Because I can have a good set, I can have a nice fire, I can have plenty of water. If I'm sitting out there in that 30-mile-an-hour wind when it's 10 degrees, I'm going to be cold. I need to find a dead air space if I can find it. Again, that pendulum. This resource has this, but this has more water, but this is going to be out in the wind. You got to find the balance. And finally, the fourth W in the winter, widow makers. Now, widow makers are something we need to look at all the time in our camping. But in essence, look up, is there any dead trees, rotten limbs above me? It's cold. It's below freezing. Water content within that tree that's dead may freeze, causing a big limb to pop off. May cause the bark to split, causing something big to fall on me. Things like that. Is there a big old snow load? I'm not in snow country. But is there a big old snow load up in these trees that could suddenly drop on me in this area? Could an avalanche come down from this? Is this going to trigger rock slides? Again, where water gets into the cracks of rocks and freezes, and that causes pressure that can cause big rocks to dislodge. So getting up next to a big old rocky cliff may be a great windbreak, may be a great heat reflector. But looking uphill, if I got big boulders that could dislodge and come rolling down on me during the night, that's a widowmaker. And wildlife. Now, I consider wildlife part of this. In the winter, many animals migrate. They follow given paths and things like that. So when I get here, and I've got right there the trees, there's my wood supply. Right there, close enough, is water. This blocks me off the wind. I look around, I don't see anything here. It looks really good, but I look at the ground and there's a whole lot of tracks. Moose can ruin your day. Bear can ruin your day. Cattle in the right place, cutting from A to B place during the middle of the night, can ruin your day. I've told a story long ago about one time I made a trail and it was cows come running through. I could have been trampled, you know. Look at the ground, look at the resources. You have to be situationally aware. More so in the winter, because we're kind of fragile. So to recap, the resources I am looking for in a campsite in the winter is, I want wood, a good supply of wood, minimum effort on my part if at all possible to procure that wood and to have it to get me through the night. Water, I want a good source of water close where I don't have to travel a long distance to get it. I want wind protection, some sort of wind barrier or something to keep me out of the wind. And finally, widowmakers. I got to look at the lay of the land. Is there something here that's going to cause me a problem? Is it a tree? Is it a boulder? Is it wildlife? Is it whatever? Another thing to be considered in that widowmaker is understanding how cold air flows down hills and flows into these valleys and fills up. So down close to the water is actually colder than it is not terrible far up the hill, because that cold air sinks. That could be more detrimental. So I need to be very aware of my environment. A winter camper is somebody that's very aware of your environment. Now you guys that are already up there in the great far north and you're used to these low temperatures, it's not a big deal for you. When you come down here to my part of the south, you're dropping out of heat. When I go up there and I'm in cold temperatures, that's an extreme climate to me. So I have to be much more focused on my game to make sure my comfort level, my core temperature is maintained. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave any questions or comments. And if there's anything I can do or some topic, please leave it in the description box. I'll be in the comments. I'll be glad to do it if I can. Till next time, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.